The indescribable, inconceivable, and inexpressible perfection of wisdom, unproduced, unceasing, the nature of space, object of the uniquely knowing transcendental wisdom, to another victorious arms of the three times and other prostrate. And prostrate the fleeing noble rare sublime ones, not the idea of time, but on the one was going supposed of the gift. Also, The activity and protection of wisdom. He said that there is something wrong in wisdom that there is a problem. There is the element of shall it be something to be against the world we practice the activity of the Lord this the time also as empty of the realization. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is none other than form. Form is also none other than emptiness. In the sense of the feeling, discrimination, composition of factors, are empty. That the good one likewise form and emptiness. Not without stain, not efficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composition of factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no visual form, no popular, there is no idea. Similarly, there is no something originating there is no thought of wisdom, no attainment, and also no attainment. Therefore, because there is no attainment, for the disciples rely on and develop the perfection of wisdom, the mind without selection, without fear. And if it has beyond error, they reach the end point of their harmony. All the Buddhas provided with the income of the complete should be from the whole between realm of this line, you possess powers, look after the fishermen, and mother with confident achievement, to the world that you probably holds, prostrate, others in the same.
Aga Samaranza Shadara Samaraya Bhakyaparana
The teachings of the three noble Buddhas, nine months possessing the power of truth, may hindrances be may all enemies and negative forces hold down, chanting Buddha to all harm. May also 80,000 obstacles be classified, may be free from the harmful traditions of development, may all excellences be in all the development, and may there be auspiciousness and perfect happiness here.
So, refresh the views in Buddha Asanga on the basis of that, then generate artistic motivation and dedicating gratitude one's life, in particular spirit life, this spirit session, to be most meaningful, most beneficial for the numberless sentient beings, temporary happiness, after God, happiness and enlightenment. Then, on the basis of that, pay salutation to Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, who is the full source of the Dharma that we're going to engage. And then, as well as salutation to all the lineage masters, the lineage of the profound Dharma, such as Shantideva, such as Shantideva, then Arjuna, all the way up to Manjushri, and an extensive Dharma lineage. Isha, Selegpa, Asanga, the way to Buddha Maitreya, and also salutation to all the Lamrim lineage masters, Lojong lineage masters, philosophy lineage masters, instruction lineage. Then pay salutation to the immediate lineage gurus, like such as His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Kajana Suvarnabhushe, and all the other spiritual gurus, in order to be the Dharma cause as Dharma, true Dharma discourse. Whatever aspect of cause and conditions, including the being three doors in this session, to be tools of purification to the limitations and the karma delusion, and consecrate our three doors to ripen the Tathagata Essence into fully awakened state. Then to receive protection, throughout the training, never to encounter obstacles. That path, all the stages of the path develop steadily without taking much time to actualize the realizations after full enlightenment. And that also, by the force of the immeasurable compassion, bring about absolute qualities of the blessings in Buddha's activities to shower over numberless sentient beings with the nectar of the Dharma, and accordingly to the mental dispositions of sentient being, and liberate them without delay. So for that purpose, so then to make the salutations to make sure all become just like that. Sangye Jodang Zoye Jonang La Jajo Bandu Tane Yasunje Daye Jujin Gebe Sana Dola Beje Sangye Dola Jo Sangye Jodang Zoye Jonang La Jajo Bandu Tane Yasunje Daye Jujin Gebe Sana Beje Sangye Dola Jo Sangye Jodang Zoye Jonang La Jajo Bandu Tane Yasunje Daye Jujin Gebe Sana Dola Beje Sangye Dola Gamge Luzene Zone Darodam Jumban Bejeran Tam Bejun Heduyans Odam Dela Chansi Toni Ninja Zondo Jube Lama Zeje Sinju Pati Debe Chana Benzin Kyo Sola Devzon Tangye Zinge Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, so before I continue with the text, just to add a few more thoughts in relation to the the part of the introductory that I did yesterday in relation to the Guru or the Guru Yoga practice or the Guru devotion practice. The Guru devotion or the Guru Yoga very much comes in the two way. The reliance through the thought and reliance through action. So reliance through the thought, very much what it means is to see Guru in Buddha, whether from the Guru's side, whether they are actually Buddha or not, but for your own absolute benefit of the achieving the full meaning and full purpose of reliance to the Guru is to achieve Guru Buddhahood. For that purpose, then have to exercise and to cultivate, seeing Guru in Buddha. In particularly, in the Mahayana Maitreyas, and seeing Guru in Buddha, oneness with the deity, oneness with the Gagas and Trikinis, and in in the Sutra, Guru you see as a similar to Buddha. Then in the Vinaya, you see Guru, very much the elder who represent, who ambassador to Guru. I would say who ambassador to Buddha to inspire the Dharma. So as a Mahayana practitioner, and who follow the Tibetan Mahayana Buddhist tradition, and it falls under the not only seeing Guru in Buddha, but seeing Guru in one case with the deity and with the Tathagatas, and one case with your own mind, your own the essence of the being, which is the Tathagata Essence. So, so then, when the Nirmanakaya aspect of the Guru manifest, such as past, such as manifesting aging, sickness, and even death, which is we call this a passing into parinirvana. From the Guru Yoga point of view, from the practitioner's point of view, without losing the absolute confidence from the Guru side, who is free from sickness, who is free from aging, who is free from death, who already obtained absolute immortal Vajra, body, speech, and mind. In relation to that, there's whatever deeds that Guru perform, only to be rejoiced, only to be seen as an enlightened quality. But from the practitioner's point of view, from the disciple's point of view, then yes, we can express emotion. The emotion such like the heart of losing the Guru. Like yesterday I was talking about, there's a very fine line, feeling sad about, the Guru got sick, Guru passed away. If not mindful, we see that as if the Guru side, experiencing sickness, experiencing death. But that's the fault we're perceiving it. The heart of lost, grief, is very much in understanding of the lacking of merit, lacking of enough merit within oneself. The sense of loss, sense of mourning, sense of sadness is the concern of limitation of yourself. That make the losing of the physical, existent of the Guru, of that. That's the reason that Guru, manifest sickness, manifest aging, manifest death. So here, in order to not to commit, karma, not to commit, not to contaminate the Guru Yoga practice, so there's a very fine mindfulness that is very important to be aware, in order not to jeopardize the actual Guru Yoga, which is seeing Guru in Buddha, not to jeopardize that, not to fail that. So simply understood that it's lacking of my own merit. Then the second point is the deeds of Guru dissolving their physical manifestation is the birth of inner Guru. And that is the biggest teaching, most profound teaching, the hardest teaching, most essential teaching, most powerful teaching. Even throughout the life, all those high merit, hardworking, wholehearted, dedicated disciples managed to actualize that inner Guru. Without Guru needed to show that very, very tough teaching, or even needed to dissolve their Vajra body, completely going away from us. But majority unable to do that. So because of immeasurable compassion from the Guru to the disciple throughout their Nimanakaya aspect, who manifested to ordinary form to us, find all the skillful means to educate us that, but it's still so hard to crack the permanent grasping. And the dualistic view, even in relation to the Guru Yoga practice, dualistic view, still, the non-dualistic, the one entity of the Guru Yoga, the essence Guru Yoga, is lacking of duality. Finding one taste within Tathagata Essence. In Guru's lifetime, so dependent outwardly, the physical representations, the chant of the Dharma, words, physical, the inspirations, needed out there in order to inspire, to stay alive in the practice. And that in fact is it is virtue, but also at the same time, if the transition is not happened to actualize the inner Guru, it becomes obstacle. And that is the hardest obstacle to achieve the Guru without the result of Guru without. In other words, to achieve the enlightenment, resulting enlightenment. And that is the obstacle. That is dualism. The enlightenment has to be discovered within. As long as we depend something outwardly, that becomes that very conceptual. Conceptual, dependence for the cultivation of the practice. So therefore, it is so hard, but by the reason of immeasurable compassion to us, to really have the unbearable compassion, seeing that we are still not getting the point. And if you don't get the point of the actual path, then the disciple will continue to suffer in samsara, isn't it? So then, for that reason, then they have to show the dissolving their body, which is passing away. We are passing to parinirvana. Even then, even after that teaching, and as a disciple, still didn't get the point, didn't actualize the inner Guru, then it will be so hard to tame. It will be so hard to tame, even after that teaching. From another point of view, the showing, the Guru passing to parinirvana, which can cause many disciples freshly actualize the inner Guru, and many to achieve enlightenment, many to achieve arhatships, many to enter into the path, many to realize emptiness, direct realization of emptiness, many to those so hard to understand, like such as emptiness. Now it makes sense, you see, but need to have that idea, why Guru show the deeds of passing to parinirvana. The teaching has to be understood. On the basis of that, so many spiritual benefits that comes the disciples. Historically, when Shakyamuni Buddha passed away, showing the deeds of passing the Parinibbana, until then, so many of his inner circle disciples were not attained arhat, not attained arhatship. Even at the last, just before the last breath, the disciple around Shakyamuni Buddha, they already grieving, they already being so sad. Even the close disciples, the senior Sangha disciples were, already start to feel lost the direction, losing the direction because their teacher is passing away. They even happened to ask Buddha, how could we able to stay on the path if you pass away? Then Buddha revealed that the actual, the teachings on the inner view, which is the wisdom of the Dharma, the Dharma wisdom, the wisdom aspect of the Dharma, and attitude aspect of the Dharma. And Buddha says, as long as you keep that, I'm always with you. As long as you cultivate that, I'm always with you. You're not, I'm not gone. But if you let go of that, if you haven't cultivated that, even my physical body is with you, I'm not there for you. You are not with the Buddha. You see, you are not with the teacher. So they understood the teaching. So when after Buddha passed on Parinibbana, many of the close disciples have achieved high level realizations. Many of them close to they achieve arhatship. Even the Ananda, where Buddha was alive, he was not to achieve arhatship. He achieved arhatship later. He was the closest attendant, but he was like too dependent, in a physical level. He never really become independent, matured, disciple. So, yeah. So this is the 2 points that I thought to, just share. For there may be, most of you know, but there may be 1 or 2, newcomers, and this is can be quite a tricky subject, especially to cultivate the practice. It can be there's a very fine training has to be done. Either can receive immense of benefit, or either will jeopardize, our own Guru devotion. Seeing Guru as ordinary. Can imagine in that critical time that we start to see the Guru's activity as an ordinary activity, isn't it? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we are going through the Maitreyas Sublime Continuum, Sublime Continuum, the first chapter, the Tathagata Essence, and we complete up to verse 67. So now we start from verse 68. The heading, it says, okay, I'm still having a hard time with this word, immutability. Okay, immutability. During the pure and impure state, depend on the basis of Buddha and ordinary beings. Pure, impure, samsara, nirvana, sentient being, enlightened being, negative, virtue. It is And it is dependent on the state of the mind of the being. If the state of the mind of that being is purified like Buddha, then in the eyes or in the mind of in the perceptions of the Buddha, there's no suffering being, there's no samsara, there's no impure. In the eyes of purified mind of the Buddha, all of us, what he sees us, he sees direct through our Buddha potential. He sees through the pure, pure being. They feel the dusty, whatever place for him is a slideshow place. Even though samsara exists in the Buddha's eye, impure being exists in the Buddha's eyes. The differentiations of enlightened and unenlightened exist in the Buddha's eye. But in the Buddha's eye, everything is perceived as one taste. So it very much depends on our mind. So if our mind is purified, right there, you are able to transform the object of the mind, the self, and the rest of the phenomena. If our mind is fully purified by the Buddha, then we see everything is absolutely pure. If we purify it slightly less than that, then we are able to view the world similarly. The Arya beings are able to view the world. If it's just less than that, then the ordinary the Bodhisattvas less than that, then those are even though not enter into the path, but they living in the guide of the Dharma, like such as we discussed yesterday. Through the training of viewing everything, all activities of our minds are illusion-alike. Then bring the purification of our mind from that exercise, and eventually, then even though you see impure, but you don't attach as impure, or you don't grasp as impure. Like the certain text give an example of magicians and the viewer. So magicians, even for the magician, even though the stick that magic bring about big elephant, he is the elephant, but he know it's not elephant. So he don't have a grasping of elephant. Even he sees it, like the Arya beings. The Arya beings, sees good and bad, but they don't have like attachment to the good and aversion to the bad, because they know there's no substantially existing object to be attached and substantially existing object to be have aversion. See, so that can interpret to understanding that suffering and happiness is very much quality of mind. If we have the tools to see the meaning in the suffering, then even in the suffering we see happiness, and that fulfillment can able to bring or drive inner peace, and that's true happiness. See, so otherwise, if our mind don't have the tools of transformation, the tools of wisdom, Dharma, the attitude of Dharma, then even in the happiness, so-called, like sexual happiness, you see misery, you experience suffering, isn't it? So it is about that. So this verse talking about that. Okay, so verse 68, qualities for the accomplishment of one's own welfare. So this one is talking about the qualities of the first bhumi bodhisattvas. So from this onward, we will talk, emphasize about the qualities of the first bhumi, second bhumi, up to the seven bhumis. Then the remaining, 8, 9, 10 bhumis. So even though the children of conquerors realize the immutable nature, they are seen by those who are blinded by ignorance as taking birth and so forth. This is truly wonderful. So the children of conqueror here refer to the bodhisattvas from the first bhumi, the Arya bodhisattvas. So once you realize emptiness directly, then you do not commit new karma. You also have the power to not to power by other power, like such as karma and delusion, and therefore, you are free of birth, death, aging, sickness, etc., by the force of karma. But still, these bodhisattvas show aging, sickness, and death, as I mentioned before, in relation to the gurus who are passing away, who manifest sickness, is due to their immeasurable compassion. They manifest that. Then the following verse is qualities for the accomplishment of others' welfare. Those who have attained the domain of Aryas, those who have attained the quality of the characteristic of the Arya being, which is the wisdom realizing, wisdom realizing, direct wisdom, wisdom realizing. Wisdom realizing emptiness directly, display themselves in the domain of childish. This is the method of those friends of Maitreyas and sublime compassion. So, like the gurus, who manifest into ordinary body, similar to us, is totally due to the compassion to us, not because of they behave that way, not because of they have to, not because of that they are forced to be the equal, similar like our emotion, similar like our body, similar like they have to do the same thing what we ordinarily do. But they do that. The domain of the childish. This is a method of the friend of Maitreyas, so supreme compassion is because of the compassion that manifests like that. Then after that, untainted although during in the world. So this one specifically talking about the Bodhisattva from the second bhumi onward, the 7 bhumis, Bodhisattva from the second bhumi up to the 7 bhumis. Although gone beyond all worlds, they do not depart from the world for the sake of the world. They engage in the world without being affected by defilements. They're already free from samsara. Here, what samsara meaning? They're free from the contamination of karma and delusion, control of karma and delusion, and they don't have a basis to commit new contaminated karma. So therefore, there's no basis for them to commit contaminated aggregates, which defined as a samsara. Even though they have gone beyond that, gone beyond the samsaric existence, but they still be in the samsaric world. again, is to benefit us, but that existence is undefined by the defilements like such as the delusions. Then from the heading it says correlating the example with the meaning. Just as a lotus growing in water is unsullied by the impurities in the water, in the same way, they are born in the world but are not sullied by the worldly dharmas. They're free from the eight worldly concerns. What makes that possible? When you realize emptiness directly. See. So the ordinary Bodhisattva, like such as those who are on the path of preparation, even the fourth level, the Supreme Dharma, even they realize the conceptual realization of emptiness. Unless they are in meditative equipoise on emptiness, otherwise they still can be influenced by the worldly concerns. But once you get to the higher level, when you realize the non-conceptual realization of emptiness, then you are absolutely free from the worldly concerns. So then after that, qualities of the non-return. So this non-return are here referring to the Bodhisattvas from 8 and 9 bhumis. Accomplishing tasks, their mind constantly blazes like fire. They permanently abide in equipoise within. The concentrations of the absorptions of basification. So the basification here refer to the basifications of the core effort and sufferings and afflictions. Overcome the subtle effort. Only over, the effortless in the conduct of their activity only by the Buddha, only when you achieve the normal part of normal learning. So until then, it's still got effort. But here, and those who are on the 8 and 9 bhumis, they overcome the course efforts and the sufferings and afflictions. They overcome the sufferings and afflictions. Afflictions here referring to the ignorant, attachment, aversion, the 3 poisons. When they reach to the first moment of 8 bhumi, they overcome the entirety of the obstacle to nirvana, which is all the delusional obstacles. If the Bodhisattva gone through the hero or solitude realizes path and achieved arahant before, then even when they are entering into the first part of the 5 path, even part of accumulation, even the ordinary Bodhisattva's path, they don't have the delusional obstacles, and their journey very much focus accumulations of merit to actualize the direct antidote in order to purify the obscuration to omniscience, as far as concerned the obscuration to what's an obstacle to the delusional obstacles already purified. But those who enter directly to the Mahayana path, then until we achieve the first moment, your first meditative equipoise moment of the 8th body, they do not completely achieve the cessation, even though the last moment of the 7th bhumi, the delusions are normal in the system, but not purified yet. They give an example like in the dark room, in the middle of the night, if you on the light, the darkness is over. But if you off the light, darkness will occur. But if you on the light all the way up to the next morning, when the daylight comes, then the entirety of the darkness of that light is completely overcome. Even you switch off the light. So that very much, the training on the path in the three ways. The first, the practitioners in the Bhumi enter into military equipoise. The first moment of the military equipoise, I think Parchelam say, I don't know in English how to call that. They directly antidote uninterrupted path. So then when you apply the uninterrupted path, the path with no obstacle or uninterrupted path. When you apply that, then the negation go away from the system. And with the continuum military equipoise, help the continuum moment will help the practitioner to achieve the absolute cessation, which completely eradicate from the rule from your system. So that's what I call the namdola. So yeah, so all the delusions, whether you go through the Hinayana path or not, by it will be you completely purify all the delusions, including the ignorance. But the innate ignorance is not purified, which is called the potential to the obscuration. So that is not purified, and that is not the delusional aspect. Develop system, through different views and cultures and circumstances, and that which so that which serve the main basis of the rest of the delusions, like such as attachment, aversion, etc. It brings about 6 root delusions, 20 secondary delusions, and that is the secondary type of ignorance. They still call it ignorance. 2 times. The inner ignorance, then is because of Tome Maripa. So inner ignorance is the one that which accompanied from the very beginning. The ignorance that which is directly serve the basis for the rest of the delusions. It came along the way. Acquired ignorant. Acquired ignorant. So then, verse 73 is the causes of the effortless enlightened activity. So this one, this verse is dedicated to the 10 Buddhist Bodhisattva. By the propelling power of prayers, and because of being separated from all conceptuality, in order to ripen sentient beings, they do not need to employ effort. So then again here, since it's still part of sentient being, part of the Bodhisattva, have not become the part of normal learning, still there is effort. But do not need to employ effort, referring to very much referring to the during the period of meditative equipoise within the 10 Bodhi, when the 10 Bodhi Bodhisattva, during the post-meditation, when they engage into the meritorious deeds, still require effort. But not as forceful as those who are in 8 Bodhis and 9 Bodhis. Those who are 8 and 9 Bodhis, they already purified the coarse efforts. Compared to that, much more lesser efforts. So now, how you define it? It's almost like a Buddha, but not Buddha yet. In Buddha's realm, effortless. But here, still got effort, but still you can claim to not require effort. So how you define? So the defining factor is here. Post-meditation and meditation cannot function simultaneously. Even to the 10 Bodhi Bodhisattva, just one moment to become Buddha. In that meditative words, they cannot function post-meditation, meditation simultaneously. Only Buddha, only when you achieve Buddhahood, only when you perfected 6 parameters or the 10 parameters, then your activities become simultaneous. When you are in post-meditation, you are in meditation simultaneously. When you are in meditation, you are also in post-meditation simultaneously. So that defines absolute effortless and still require effort. So what will make the practitioner, like such as 10 Bodhi practitioner, or even those of the first Bodhi practitioners, or even those of us, those of, at least I can speak about me, like who have been teaching in the path, how to make less and lesser effort, being in the Dharma, being inseparable from wisdom of emptiness, attitude of bodhicitta. One factor comes from aspiration that you make. Always make a prayers and aspiration, and inspire, and always relate to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and always get inspired. So, and make supplication prayers. So here, prevailing the power of prayer. So prayers is not a ritual thing. It is a great source of help. That which will help to clear our doubts, clear wrong views, clear inner outer secret obstacles, help to accumulate, tremendous merit to assist us to realize the path. Then the second one is the biggest obstacle is the conceptual, the thickness of the conceptual mind, the fabricated mind. The more that we stay deluded, the harder it is for us to stay close to Dharma, close to the wisdom of emptiness, attitude of bodhicitta. The more the thicker the conceptual mind, more the hallucination we have, such as like graspings, inherent graspings, grasping of dualism, grasping of true existence, grasping of permanent existence. The greater the grasping of permanent existence we have in relation to life, in relation to things we like, in relation to things we do not like, in relation to our body, worldly concerns, harder for us to stay close with the Dharma. So lesser the conceptual grasping, closer to the Dharma. uh, the need of emptiness meditation, even it can be a very shallow one. Even it can be, just cultivating the view of selflessness and according with the Mahasiddhas school, even not out to the Asanga school, but just the Mahasiddhas school. Just simply try to understand, try to meditate on the selflessness of person, already will reduce great degree of conceptual confusions. And even just reciting Hasutra, even just reciting the Hasutra mantra, even just keep saying emptiness, emptiness, emptiness. Even just saying the word, or hearing the word, or writing the word. When you look into Tathagata Sutra, when you look into all the different Panchaparamita Sutra, the Wisdom Sutras, it emphasizes immeasurable powers of even just writing one word of the emptiness, the sutra, even just writing Om, no question of writing Tathagata Essence Buddha Soha. There's purifications to our conceptual mind. Then, so the more you meditate, even though it's not an absolute view of emptiness, what the Mahasiddhas school, when you meditate long, that will naturally lead you to move towards the Asanga speed. The more you meditate on that, naturally, it is amazing that it won't stop there, because you get familiar with it. We may think that I will stop there. I may not be able to proceed, because but the four schools of Buddhist philosophy in relation to the wisdom of emptiness is blessed by Buddha. It is just a pathway, the gradual pathway to reach to the final view of emptiness. It's very much like if you want to know exact the ultimate, the essence of the onion, then when you are exercising this view, you're very much trying to know what is onion in the outer skin. Then you want to know, you peel the skin out. So it's very much negating the negation that presented by the Asanga. And you already come deeper level. The second layer is onion, isn't it? So then you peel another layer, which is very much peeling out or purifying the negation that presented by Asanga. Then, because still there's some solidness in there, you may believe that something is more inside, because at the same time you cannot find onion on the skin, and you're also not going to find onion on the second layer skin, isn't it? Then you reach to the Chitta Matra, exactly the negation presented by Chitta Matra, when you get to know well about what it is, and you do not find that as a core nature within the self and phenomena, you naturally, your wisdom increases tremendously, and that will help to progress to, the understanding view that presented by Tathagata Maitreya. Then, similarly, that will help to, by negating the negation of Tathagata Maitreya, now you have the most subtle and the final negation that to be overcome, which is the substantial or inherent existent, which even though, which asserted by the Tathagata, but if you go to find, like now you come to very much to the final layer of the onion, or the second semi-final layer of the onion, there you cannot find substantial existing onion anywhere. You cannot find onion in any level, not in the mind, which labeling onion. You also cannot find even a tiny substance from the onion side. So then you have the curiosity. Maybe the onion may be right in the center. So you also cut that into pieces, 4 pieces, and you look at it. What you find is absolute void of substantially existent within, without, follow it, or out of it. You can't find onion. What you find is just onion simply in the name, that which is labeled on the basis of the collections of all parts of the phenomena that you just already throw away everywhere. Each time you throw this direction, that direction, isn't it? So anyway, so something like that. This is how that it will help. It's because they talk emptiness, so it's obstacle. It's not an obstacle naturally. Obstacle not enough merit for my side. So say focus on the text. Don't go here and there. You're going to get into trouble. Yeah. So one of the exercise that from the very beginning, when we enter into the path or enter into learning Buddha's teaching, to clear obstacle is always trying to purify the wrong views, the delusions, try to minimize the functions of conceptual attitudes. And the way to do that is to do more meditation, especially observation meditation. Because if you do analytical meditation, still conceptual. So when you do observation meditation, it's still conceptual in the beginner level, but it's going very close to the non-conceptual state. And when you're really able to do genuine sense of observation meditation, then you can go beyond conceptual. You conceptual. You are able to remain non-conceptual state as during the period of the deep meditation. So when you do deep meditation, you need to be free from thoughts, in other words, and that to stay in meditation free from thoughts. It makes sense. So that's hard. At the moment, we cannot do meditation even without looking at the text. You see? And we cannot do meditation without looking at the picture. The moment we close our eye, either go complete blank, or either more pictures appears. You see, so this is because the problem of too dependent on the conceptual, too engrossed in the conceptual mind. So that will make so hard for us to stay so deep close with the Dharma. So these are, you see, so now you see, first one, when we talk about the prayers, that will accumulate merit of methods. The second one, when we challenge the conceptual mind, you create the merit of wisdom. So by creating the merit of method and merit of wisdom, bring us stay close to the actual Dharma. Stay close to the emptiness mind, stay close to the, like such as love, compassion, bodhicitta, like that. So then, verse 74, knowledge of appropriate enlightened activity for the sake of disciples. The verse says, they know precisely by whatever appearances and with which method each student need to be tamed, whether by teaching, by displaying a form body, by conduct or by deeds. So we can relate to again our precious gurus, like His Holiness Dalai Lama, Sublime, every action they do, absolutely for the benefit of us, for the benefit of sentient beings. Even they display something that which inconvenient to our ordinary mind, or something is beyond our understanding. It has to be for the benefit of sentient beings. These are many different, they will display with many different forms, many different way of teachings, etc. like that. Then effortlessly engage in enlightened activities, rely on those methods. So enlightened activities, here still referring to the Bodhisattvas, not talking about Buddhas. So this verse is, in this way, for living beings feeling the limit of space, the intelligent one always works perfectly. In acting spontaneously and without obstruction, the welfare of sentient being. Who does that? Bodhisattva does that. So Bodhisattva, such as the Arya Bodhisattva, in particular those who are in the 10 Bodhisattva, is almost, you can say like this, 99.99% same. Wisdom-wise, effort-wise, whatever, conduct-wise, but still different. It because of cannot function. The two activities simultaneously, as mentioned before. That's the only difference. So if let's say just first time you're just looking at this verse is talking about Bodhisattva still. Then the pure and impure qualities of the last life Bodhisattvas. So they talk about different manifestations. Some are pure manifestations, some are impure manifestations for the benefit of us, the sentient being. So the first one, the verse 76, is dedicated to discuss about the pure aspect, like the Buddha. This mood of the Bodhisattvas, again talking about 10 Bodhisattvas, in post-meditation session is renowned in the world as being equal to the Tathagatas, by way of perfectly liberating sentient beings. This is due to achieving the qualities such as 6 clairvoyance and 10 powers. But still, this 10 Bodhisattva not yet achieved perfection of 10 Bodhis. You see, even they achieve those great high level clairvoyance, which is like omniscient, but not omniscient. 10 powers, they perform without mistake of the 10, all the 10 deeds or the 10 perfections. Their blessings are so powerful. It's very much like the blessings of the Buddha. Their activities are so powerful till they, as like Buddha, but still different because it's not affected. So then the second verse is talking about the impure aspect. It is true to say that the difference between the earth and the speck of dust, and between the great ocean and the water in the footprint of an ox, is the difference between the Buddha and Bodhisattvas. So then after that, now discuss about the now discuss about the Buddha state, during the part of normal learning, immutable during the totality pure state, which is now talking about the Buddha, the truth body. The Dharmakaya of the Tathagata in totality pure state is immutable. Because of being endowed with the qualities of inexhaustibility, it is the refuge of the migrator because it is continuum and without end. It is always without the two extremes of the deception and superimposition, and without conceptuality. And it is the nature of not being subject to destruction because it is not formed by karma. Extreme of deception and supreme imposition, the flow of samsara and flow of the nirvana. Then after that, indirect teaching by the negation, it says in the commentary, the heading, it says like that. There is no birth, no death. There is no harm, no aging. Therefore, the Dharmakaya of the Tathagata is permanent, constant, at peace, and unalterable. Yeah. Then indirect teaching by the affirmation, it says the Dharmakaya of the Tathagata is not born with the mental body because it is permanent. It does not die and transmigrate with inconceivable transformation because it is constant. Then verse 81, it is not harmed by the sickness of the subtle imprint because it is pacified. It does not age by unaltered, non-inflicted karma because it is eternal. So again here, okay, now the Dharmakaya, it's talking about the Tathagata essence, Tathagata essence within us. So I made a mistake before. I said it's talking about the part of normal learning. So actually it's not. So it's talking about the Tathagata essence within us. Is emphasizing the sameness with the resultant Dharmakaya. All this emphasis on quality is talking about the Buddha nature within us and all these qualities, which is the quality that Buddha has. Then verse 82, the uncompounded basic element is to be known as a permanent and so forth. Through two lines, and likewise two lines, and two lines, and two lines in their respective order. So there are the two verses very much dedicated to each. The first two lines, talking about these two lines, the second two lines is like that. So applying the elaboration to the teaching, so because the Dharmakaya is endowed with the limitless qualities, it has the meaning of being immutability, permanent. So this is talking about the first two lines. And the second two lines, because it is equal to the limit of samsara, it has the meaning of being constant entity of refuge. Then the third two line, because it is the nature of non-conceptuality, it has the meaning of pacified reality, free from duality of the two extremes, samsara nirvana. Then the last two lines is because it is endowed with the quality of not being produced by the two karmas, it is not subject to destruction. This is the meaning of being eternal. So our ultimate being is like that. Then the heading is the individuality of qualities, establishing the individuality from the qualities of freedom in a time of total purity. The verse 85 says, the perfect complete Buddha is the Dharmakaya, the Tathagata, the Arya's ultimate truth, and non-abiding nirvana. These four are just as the individual, just as indivisible as the sun and its ray. And because of the indivisibility of the qualities, there's no non-abiding nirvana apart from Buddhahood. So here, the conversation, the understanding, talking about our Tathagata Essence, it also talking about the resultant, the Dharmakaya of the Tathagata, to be achieved by awakening the cause of Tathagata, or the cause of Buddha nature. Then explanation of the logic for the indivisibility of the ultimate quality, verse 86. In brief, the non-afflicted spheres is distinguished, non-afflicted, the emptiness of the exalted wisdom, all aspects, is called the non-afflicted spheres. It's distinguished by four being, and it is to be known by way of four synonyms, Dharmakaya and so forth. What are the synonyms? Verse 87 talks about that. Indivisible from the qualities of the Buddha. So this refers to the first of the four synonyms, the Dharmakaya. Then attainment of the lineage, and it is talking about the second of the four synonyms, the Tathagata. Then reality that is non-deceptive and non-false, referring to the Arya's ultimate truth. And by nature of space since beginningless time, talking about the fourth synonymous, which is non-abiding nirvana. Verse 88. Significant of establishing this indivisibility, it says like this: thoroughly, completely enlightened in all aspects, abandonment of the defilement with their imprint, Buddhahood, the non-abiding nirvana, ultimately non-dual. Then following the verse, the nature of this indivisibility of the qualities, it says, liberation is inseparable in its character from all aspects. The innumerable and inconceivable, and the quality of being without defilement. What liberation is also the Tathagata. Then after that, the next verse is the probability of the quality as illustrated by the example of the painter, so giving an example. So he's very much talking about all these Buddha's qualities, the resultant, the Buddha's quality to be achieved on the potential, the Tathagata essence within the course of the stage now, has to be accumulated by it is right cause and it is complete cause, not by just one cause, not by cause. You see, so it's very much talking about the six paramita or 10 paramita. So just talk about 6 paramita to achieve all the enlightened perfections, perfection qualities of the resultant Dharmakaya to carry the enlightened activities, enlightened qualities, the qualities of the Buddha refuge, qualities of the Dharma refuge, quality of the Sangha refuge. One cause won't able to produce all of them. Or in other words, Buddha's wisdom body, Buddha's form body. one cause won't able to produce all of them. Buddha's wisdom body has to be produced by it is cause, but not as a cause and effect cause, but similar cause. Direct cause, but not as a cause and effect cause, but direct cause, which is wisdom of emptiness. Without training, without study, without contemplation, without meditation, and without accumulating the power of the wisdom, without accumulating the merit of the wisdom, Buddha's wisdom body won't able to achieve. And just cultivating bodhicitta, love, compassion, won't able to achieve Buddha's wisdom body. So he's talking about that. In order to achieve Buddha's form body, just meditating on emptiness won't serve the purpose. Have to cultivate loving, kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, only will make possible to achieve Buddha's form body. So if you only practice wisdom, will never attain Buddhahood. If you only practice bodhicitta, Buddha will never attain. So I will practice more. And there are so many, like such as 80, 32, 80, major, minor months. Each and every one of them has their own direct cause, their own complete cause. So 84,000 teachings are the tools to accumulate those causes by purifying those different obstacles. You see, so say, oh, just practicing Vinaya is good enough. No. Or just practicing Sutra is good enough. No. Just practicing Tantra is good enough. No. You have to practice all if we want to become Buddha. So giving the example of painter, some painter could be very good in doing the eye drawing. Some is very good, only coloring. Some very good in making the rest of the thing. It's quite hard to find one person to do everything. So here the example sounds like there's no one painter can paint everything. You need many different group of painters to come together to actualize one Buddha's image. And if one go holiday, the painting stops. So verse 19 says, for example, the painters who are specialized in painting individual part of the body, the paint, whatever part is known to them, and do not work on any other part than that. To them, this so the example, to them, the sovereign king hands the cards to order them, all of you paint my portrait. Upon hearing this, they begin to collaborate on painting the portrait. Then one of the engaged painter leaves for another place by departing and leaving their part of the portrait incomplete. The portrait in its entirety could not be actualized. This is the way the is applied. The meaning, verse 93, the individual part of the portrait are expressions of the generosity, discipline, patience, and so on, like six paramita, emptiness. Emptiness, which is endowed with all aspects. Okay, so this emptiness, which is endowed with all aspects, is expressed by the complete portrait of the king. So now, so here it is a teaching from the paramita, of course, based on the root text of the Maitreya. When one trained in Bodhisattva's conduct, very much meaning trained in the practice of six paramita. And when you train the first paramita, you have to train simultaneously all the remaining paramita. If you train in the wisdom, the last one, you have to train simultaneously. You have to train simultaneously all of the earlier five. So, meaning when you practice the first paramita of generosity, that generosity need to have the element of morality, patience, joyous effort, concentration, wisdom. So if you practice wisdom of emptiness, number 6, then you do have the practice of generosity, then you do have practice of morality, etc. So this is talking about that. In order to become a complete cause for enlightenment. This is if our objective is not enlightenment, then of course we can train just solo one, you know. But if it's enlightenment, then we have to train like that, saying like this. Verse 94, an analogy to illustrate indivisibility. Because wisdom, exalted wisdom, and liberation are indivisible from luminosity, radiance, and purity, they resemble the ability of the light rays and the disc of the sun. So then again, you know, even in the wisdom, when you are realizing, you know, after one understood correctly the teachings of the wisdom, like in relation to here the Mahayana teaching, in relation to the school, the Pasamkhika Madhyamika school, presented in the wisdom chapter Namrit, like what Shantideva presented in the wisdom chapter of Buddhism way of life. So these are the final view, understood correctly, then contemplated, meditated. Then the first wisdom you achieve is the wisdom. Then after the exalted wisdom, then the liberation. The first wisdom is the conceptual realization. Then after that, direct realization on emptiness. Then after that, you achieve the omniscient wisdom of emptiness. 95. The meaning of the assertion that the hearers and solitary realizers do not possess the ultimate vehicle and ultimate nirvana. So Hinayana school practitioner, such as hearers and solitary realizers, they don't have the path of Mahayana, and therefore they lacking the truth to actualize the final nirvana, which is the Buddhahood. Hence, without attaining Buddhahood, there is no attainment of non-abiding nirvana. Non-abiding nirvana. Just as the sun cannot be observed, set apart of its light and its rays. So we cannot be contented by the self-nirvana. Even though nirvana is freedom from samsara, nirvana is a state of freedom from samsara, freedom, control, karma, and delusion. But in the context of compassion, practice of compassion, great compassion, bodhicitta, then it is to be negated. And the summary. So this earlier one, we're talking about the 10 presentations. Then the remaining verses dedicate the 9 similes and some summaries, you know, that will come with the text. The summary of the 10 presentations, the Tathagata Essence is set out by way of these 10 presentations. Up to now is the 10 presentations. You know, now if you look into the text by yourself, then it will be very clear. You know, you just, you know, grasp, you know, each of the 10 points, and it makes it so clear the whole characteristic of the Tathagata Essence within. It's also very beautiful, you know, to know in this way. So the heading is establishing obscuration of the basic element by advantageous defilement through 9 similes. At present, the basic element dwells within the shell of afflictions and to be known by way of example. On the heading, illustrating how the removal of the obscuration will reveal the essence. So by removing these obstacles, then we are able to manage to awaken the Buddha essence. The first start with the short presentation. Illustrations of the obscure phenomena possessed by the obscuring phenomena. So obscured phenomena possessed by the obscuring phenomena. So first one referring to the mind, our conventional Buddha nature. That obscured by the defilement. The first one, the similarities, there are 9 similarities. Yeah, the Buddha in the decaying lotus, first one. Second one is honey among bees. Third one, grain within the husk. Fourth one, gold amidst filth. Fifth one is the treasure of the jewel in the earth. Sixth, the seedling and so forth within the small fruit. Then 7, the statue of conqueror in tattered robes. 8, the Lord of human in the womb of ordinary woman. And 9, the precious golden image in the clay mold. So these are the 9 examples. Similarly, the basic element of the natural purity abides within the sentient being, obscured by the adventitious defilement. Now, short presentations of the individual obscured and obscuring phenomena. The defilement are compared to a lotus, bees, husk, filth, earth, seed, tattered robes, and a woman tormented by fierce suffering, and the earth constituent. The naturally pure, precious, basic element is compared. So here the basic element is sometimes the basic element referred to the 4 elements. 4 elements which also has a gross and subtle. The subtle element will it remain within our being as a continuum. It's a basis to sustain the continuum, from very beginning until the end. But here, the basic elements is referring to the Buddha nature or the Tathagata essence. Basic element is compared to the Tathagata essence is compared to a Buddha, number 1. Second is the honey, and then kennel, and gold and treasure, banyan tree, and precious statues, and Supreme Lord of the Continuum, which is also called Tathagata, and the precious image. Now, extensive explanation, establishing by the illustration and advantageous nature of the 4 defilement and domain, desire, etc. Now, how this Buddha nature, Tathagata essence, obscured by the like a delusions, like a desire. So to understand that way, establishing by illustration the advantageous nature of the 3 poison when dominant, 3 poison when it is dominant. Establishing by illustrating the advantageous nature of the domain of desire first. The simile is verse 100. When seeing that in the lotus of the 4 color, where dual the Tathagata radiant with the 1,000 marks, a person with the undefiled divine eyes takes it out from the world of its lotus petal. So it's very clear, isn't it? Then it is meaning is similarly that the Sugatas with their Buddha's eye see their own nature, even in those abiding in the hells of no respites. So as I mentioned at the beginning, in Buddha's eye, no impure. You see, directly see only the absolute essence. Yeah, like that. So because of we defile, that's why we cannot see even our own, the true being, the Buddha nature. Then purifying the basic element of defilement. Those without defilement abides until the end of time, freeing sentient beings. from their defilement through their compassion, talking about Buddhas, talking about the Bodhisattvas, talking about the gurus who do that job. Then the extensive explanation, verse 102, just as the person endowed with the divine eyes sees the Sugata within the filled lotus and breaks open its petal, the subduer, seeing the essence of the perfect Buddha within living beings, obscured by the shell of attachment, hatred, and so forth, through compassion, engaged in overcoming those defilements by like such as Guru coming into our life, such as Buddha coming into this world, and all the 20 wheel of Dharma. That's how they really help clear the obscuration within us, so that we see clearer and clearer our true nature like that. Then establishing the illustration, the advantageous nature of the dominant anger. Now, before its attachment, attachment is the one obscure us seeing our true nature. Now, anger is the one. Verse 103. Just as the beekeeper seeing honey, seeing it is surrounded by the swarm of bees, separate it with skill from the entire swarm of bees. Now, meaning, the person is example. The meaning is, so the great sage with the eyes of omniscience see the basic element completely to honey. And so then then removing the defilement and forever eradicate the obstruction that are likened to the bees through revealing the Dharma, Dharma wisdom and Dharma attitude, and like such as gurus being our inspiration on the path, and we stick following them, taking refuge in them, and nurtured by the Dharma, and application of the wisdom within, able to clear all the delusions and able to extract the honey. Later we can make tea. So verse 105, explanation. Maybe I should go I should buy honey and offer to each and every one of you after I torture for 2 hours. So it says, even if the honey is obstructed by billions of bees, the beekeeper separates the honey to use it as a desired. In the same way, the uncontaminated consciousness in sentient being is like honey, the afflictions like bees, and the conqueror's skill in controlling them like the beekeeper. Then, verse 106, establishing by illustration the advantageous nature of dominant ignorance, the simile, as kernel of the grain in their hearts are inedible by humans. Those wishing to use them for a meal and so on must extract them from their hearts. Meaning, in the same way, the basic element of sentient being is intentional with the affliction, for as long as the essence of the conqueror is not liberated from the defilement of the affliction, till then the conqueror deed will not manifest in the three realms. So, if we truly aspire in Bodhicitta, which is for the benefit of sentient being, for the benefit of the sentient being's enlightenment or liberation, I want to achieve enlightenment, isn't it? When we take Bodhisattva vows, so that is the voice of Bodhicitta. If this is really you mean it, then must achieve Buddhahood, must awaken the Buddha potential. Otherwise, we won't able to manifest the effective deeds or activities into the world to benefit sentient being. Verse 108, explanation. Just a kernel of grain, such as rice, buckwheat, and barley, when unstretched, still with their own and unprepared, cannot become a tasty meal enjoyed by humans. So the Lord of the Dharma present in sentient beings, those body has not been released from the shell of affliction, cannot bestow the taste of joy of Dharma to being tormented by the hunger of their affliction. So that's why, it is in fact, because to share Dharma, to teach Dharma, it is a huge risk. Without proper understanding, mistakenly interpret, then it can really become obstacle to the listeners or to progress on the path. And especially the Dharma knowledge, it has to be mainly transmitted as for Dharma, not for knowledge, not for just intellectual knowledge. So without having some sense of certain degree of subduing one's own mind, then you say, no way you can able to bring blessing of the Dharma to receivers, So actually it's a very, very, how to say, it's a shameful, like me, try to read through this and hope that I will just read this. If I don't add this and that, then it's slightly safer. Otherwise, terribly can go wrong. Lama Tsongkhapa also give a very, very strict guidelines. Without subduing self, no way can able to subdue others in another way. Without having a bit of taste of the Dharma within, no way you're able to bring that actual taste of Dharma into the listeners. So that's why I say the way to liberate sentient being, the ultimate way is through the Dharma. Not just to the Dharma teachers, to everybody who aspire to benefit sentient being. And the ultimate way to benefit sentient being is through sharing Dharma. Through become Dharma inspiration, through Dharma wisdom, through Dharma attitude, or at least aspiration of living on Dharma wisdom and Dharma attitude. So if someone is truly want to benefit sentient being, then has to be very serious about really, really practicing and realizing the path, something like that. Okay, so then verse 109, establishing the illustration, the adventurous nature of the three persons when manifest simile, just as the goal of the traveler that has fallen into the filthy rotten place will not deteriorate from the many hundreds of the years because of its indestructible nature. Just as the God endowed with the divine eyes, upon seeing it as a person, purify this supremely priceless gold and carve into it something precious like the statues of the Tathagata. So meaning to that is similarly, the conquerors see the qualities of the naturally pure basic element in sentient being and sunken into the reflection, which are like fit. Then removing the obscuration. And in order to cleanse the mirror of affliction, they let fall rains of the sublime Dharma for all beings. Explanation for that. Just as the God seeing the gold drop into the filthy, rotten place, earnestly show the supreme beauty to the human so that they might completely clean it. In the same way, the conquerors see its sentient beings in the precious essence of the complete Buddha, falling into the filth of the affliction, and teach them Dharma in order to purify that basic element. Now, 30, establishing by the illustration and the precious nature of the pure imprint of the ignorant similes, just like the inaccessible treasure lies in the earth under the house of the poor man, but he does not know it. and the treasure does not announce itself with "here I am." So meaning to that, similarly, as the precious treasure enclosed within the mind, by nature free from the defilement, with neither the two kind of the selflessness to be established, nor the true self to be refuted, is not realized. All these beings continuously experience many forms of suffering or purity. So therefore, need to realize selflessness of person, selflessness of phenomena, and need to refute the false I and false grasping of true existence in the phenomena. Talking about that. Now the explanation, just as the treasure that lies buried under the house of the poor man does not announce itself to him with "here I am," and it is not aware of it. Likewise, the Dharma treasure abide in the house of the mind, the Buddha nature, and sentient being, who are like the pauper, the unaware of it, poor man unaware of the treasure. In order for them to attain the Dharmakaya, the sage was born in the world. The whole reason Buddha coming to our world is to reveal the Dharma. Then establishing the illustration, the advantageous nature of the path of seeing and path of meditation abandonment. So within that, the path of seeing, the path of meditation. So then that's where the 10 bhumisa comes about. The 10 bhumis, there the special insight used as an antidote to purify the 9 portions of the delusions and defilement, which is to be negated in order to perfect the 6 paramita and to actualize the path of normal learning. Verse 116, establishing the illustrate the adverse nature of the path of seeing abandonment. Similarly, just as the seed within the fruit of the mango or the similar tree has the indestructible potential of becoming a seedling and relying on the earth and water, will gradually grow into the majestic tree. Meaning for that, so also within the skin of the fruit of the ignorant and so on of sentient being lies in the virtues Dharma Dhatu. And similarly, by relying on the virtue, the basic element will gradually transform into the essence of the majestic conqueror. Explanation for that, just as by the way of the conditions of water, sunlight, air, earth, time, and space, trees grow from within and peels of the mango and the contact fruit. Similarly, the seeds and the sprout of the complete enlightenment enclosed within the pale of the sentient being. Affliction through the condition of such and such virtue will increase the realization of Dharma. Such first refer to the merit of method. Second, such refer to the merit of wisdom. Then verse 119, establishing by illustrating the adventurous nature of the path of meditation. Earlier when part of seeing, now part of meditation. Similes. A statue of the Tathagata made of precious jewels wrapped in the treated pearls of smiling robes of God, having seen it lying on the road, make it known to the prospered soul that is might be rescued. Meaning for that is the one endowed with the unobstructed vision sees the Tathagata essence covered in the multitude of the affliction, even in animals. That I can to understand not only human, but entire number of sentient beings, starting from animals. Everybody carry the same essence, the Tathagata essence, equal. Then removing obscuration and so forth, and for the sake of liberation, show the method. Then explanation to that is just as one with the divine eye see the image of the Tathagata previously by precious by nature, wrapped in frills, smelly robes, lying on the road, and show it to the people, they might rescue it. Likewise, the conqueror see that the basic element wrapped in the treasured robes of affliction and lying on the road of samsara exists even in the animal and teaches the Dharma so that they might be liberated. So this was understood by Japja Lama Sukrum, which put so much effort, recite mantra for the animals, build holy object for the animals to go around. Not many people do that. This is here, the meaning is here. This is how you give Dharma, even though they don't have the human intelligence like us, but still, you can benefit them. These are so essential, how you liberate them. there are many stories, just by reciting, prayers, sutras, even to the bird when they're reborn, they're reborn when human, and that life they become panditas. Many examples. So verse 122, establishing the relation, the residual nature of the defilement found impure and pure level, establishing by illustrating the residual nature of the defilement found in the impure level, the similes, just as an unsightly woman, vulnerable and residing in the unprotected dwelling, whole in her womb, glorious king, but it is unaware of Lord of the human within her. Meaning for the likewise, birth and samsara is like the unprotected house. Impure sentient beings are like the pregnant woman, and the undefiled basic element is like the king abiding within her. Those endowed with such will have the protection. Explanation of that, just as the woman of the appealing from the dress is stained clothing lives in the unguarded place, experiencing great suffering, even though she bear a lot of earth in her womb. Similarly, within sentient beings, there is a protector, but being nonetheless abide in the state of suffering, their unprotected mind being restless by the force of affliction. Then establishing by the illustration of the nature of the defilement found in the pure level, the similes, just as having seen the flawless statues cut in the gold inside the clay mold, the gold, the pure, but the outside in the nature of the clay. Those who understand this remove the outer containment in order to purify the gold therein. Meaning for that, likewise, seeing that the stain covering the clear light nature are the advantageous. Removing the obscuration like the clay metal of the precious gold, sentient beings through purifying the defilement attain pure enlightenment. Explanation, just as the goldsmith, to perceive the peaceful nature of the shining gold statues fixed inside clay, more than remove the clay from it. So too, the omniscient one, knowing the peaceful mind to be like the pure gold, purify the defilement with the chisel of Dharma teaching. Then the summary to that, verse 128, simile of the obscuring phenomena. Within the decaying lotus in the song of peace, the husk, fit, earth, field of fruit, and pastoral ropes, and woman, womb, and the clay mold, similes of the obscure phenomena. Verse 129, there is a Buddha, honey, the kind of gold, treasure tree, precious statues, and the will-turning king, and the golden image. Then the mind naturally pure, but with adverse stain. So just as the affliction never exists by the way of their own nature, nor are they in the nature of the mind. So the realm of the sentient being is not tied to the shell of affliction. Existing since beginningless time is the nature of the mind, emptiness of the true existence. Since beginningless time is the Tathagata Essence, free of defilement. Then after that, verse 131, individual explanation of the phenomena illustrated by this military type of obscurations of the basic element, dividing from the obscurations of the nine defining of characteristics, the nine portions of defilement from the 10 bhumis. Attachment, anger, ignorance, and their dormant traits, their first will arise, abandonment of the path of the method and the path of seeing, and those pertaining to the pure and impure ground. Are well illustrated by the nine similes of the covering of the lotus and so forth, but the division of the shell of the obscuring affliction, the beyond the division. Summary to that is summarizing the nine defilement, attachment, and so forth. They have been dual explained in their respective order by the example of the chalice, the lotus, and so on. Verse 134, the type of obscure person. By way of those of the defilement of the childish ordinary beings, the Hinayana, Arhat, the Hinayana, Arya learner, and the wise Mahayana Aryas are explained to be impure in their respective order by the 4, 1, 2, and 2 defilements, corresponding to these similes of the basic element obscures. Extensive explanation of that, verse 135. Just as the present of the lotus born from the mud include the delight at the first and the fades in its attraction later on. The same is so for the pleasure of desire. Just as bees, when they're becoming agitated, will sting. Likewise, when the hatred arises, suffering sorrow in the heart. just as the kernel of the rice and so forth is covered by the outer husk, so the understanding of the Tathagata essence is obscured by the shell of ignorance. Just as the field is unpleasant, likewise in those with attachment, forceful arising of the three poisons act as a cause for the real reliance on the desire realm, and so is like kin to filth. Just as the precious treasure is buried and one not knowing of it cannot obtain it. Also for being, the self-arising Tathagata essence is buried under the ground of the imprint of attachment, just as the seeding and so forth by the growing gradually, breaking through the husk of the seed, so that the realization of the suchness destroyed the abandonment on the path of seeing. Verse 141, through the familiarization with the Arya path, the core of the view of the transcript collection of the overcome, the object of abandonment with the existence of wisdom, the path of meditation are illustrated by the treaded ropes. The defilement in the relation to the seven impure ground can be compared to the defilement of the covering of the womb, and being freed from the covering of the womb is similar to the fully ripened non-conceptual exalted wisdom. The defilement connected to the three pure ground, likened to the covering of the clay mold. Through the Vajra-like samadhi of the mighty one, they are overcome. Summary to that, thus the nine defilement, attachment, and so on, corresponding to the similes of the lotus and so forth, corresponding to the similes of the obscure basic element, because the basic element can be subsumed into three natures, is corresponding to the Buddha and so on. General explanation of the similes. Its nature is the Dharmakaya, suchness, and the lineage. This should be known by the way of 3, 1, and 5 simile respectively. Now, extensive explanation of the correspondent to the Dharmakaya first. The Dharmakaya is to be known as a twofold. The first is the utterly undefiled Dhammadhatu, which is the concordance cause of the second, the Dharmakaya of the teaching, by way of profound definitive the various interpretable sutras. Verse 147, because the wisdom Dharmakaya realization is beyond this world, the example cannot be found in this world. Therefore, it is presented as a similar to the body of the Tathagata and the basic element. The teaching of the sutra of the defining meaning in the subtle and deep way is like the singular taste of honey. The teaching of the sutra of the interpretable meaning is multiple way, is similar to the kernel hidden in their husk. Okay, verse 49. Corresponding to suchness, as the true is unchanging virtues and natural purity, so suchness is said is to resemble a golden statue. Corresponding to lineage, similarly for the entity of the lineage. Like the treasure and the fruit tree, the lineage is known to be twofold. The beginningless naturally abiding lineage and the developmental lineage, and perfectly arising through hearing and contemplating and naturally abiding lineage. Similes for the potential of the lineage, division of the potential, verse 151. It is held that the three bodies of the Buddha are attained by the virtues of this twofold lineage, the first body by the way of the first, and the later two by the way of the second. Explanation of these similes. The beauty of the natural body should be known as like the precious statue, because it does not naturally arise and it is treasure of the good qualities. Possessing the majesty of the great vehicle Dharma, the perfect enjoyment body is like the wheel-turning king. Because of being in the nature of reflection, the image is likened to the golden image. Then consciousness that precedes the basic element. In the hero and solitary realize that the basic element is understood through faith. Verse 154. The ultimate essence of the self arising to be realized through faith. Then the four kind of person do not perceive it is differentially. Just as when the sun shines, those who are blind will not see it. Identifying the nature of the basic element, the actual meaning, the true state of the phenomena of the basis, there's nothing to be removed. There's not the slightest to be added. The view that realizes this true estate, the verse says, reality is to be seen as a reality. Then the result of meditating on this view, how to meditate. Upon seeing reality, you are liberated and just observe into that. Establishment. This basic element is empty of advantageous defilement, which are separable in character. It is not empty of the unsurpassable qualities, which are of inseparable character. Okay, now purpose of the teaching, the sentient beings possess the basic element. Okay, verse 57, the argument, like cloud, dream, and illusion of knowledge is every way are said to be empty. Why? Then do conquerors say here that sentient beings have Buddha essence? Caution. Respond to that. This was taught to those who have the five faults, having the discouraged mind, looking down on others, apprehending of the unreal, depreciating the real of Dharma, and self-cherishing in order to dispel them. For that. Explaining how the former and the latter are non-contradictory. The reality, this is verse 159, the reality limit is devoid of all composite phenomena. Affliction, karma, and fruition are said to be like the cloud and so on. Affliction are said to be similar to cloud. Karma is likened to be enjoyment in the dream. The aggregates, which are the fruition of the karma and affliction, are likened to be manifestation of the illusion. Verse 161. The purpose of teaching the existence of the element, the short presentation, having been expounded beforehand in this way, and again in this Uttarathanda, it is presented that the basic element exists in order to abandon the five faults. Individual explanation, the obscuration to the development of the bodhicitta, what are they? Not having heard about this, some due to the faults of self-contempt, stemming from the discouraged mind, do not generate bodhicitta, the obstacle. And obstruction to the bodhisattva practice, what are they? Some by generating bodhicitta proclaim. So if you generate bodhicitta, then say, oh, I generate bodhicitta. You know, if you practice emptiness, you say, oh, I practice emptiness. I realize emptiness. These are the greatest obstacle to realize the path. I'm the supreme bodhisattva, looking down on others who have not generated bodhicitta. You know, the tantric practitioner look down on non-tantric practitioner is the greatest obstacle. Mahayana practitioner look down on other who do not practice bodhicitta is the greatest obstacle. An obstruction to the aspect of practice, understanding the true state, which is verse 164. By not understanding, they will be at fault. In the mind of those who do not see the basic element, knowledge of reality does not arise. So if you don't have conviction or trust that your basic ultimate nature is the nature, then how much you meditate on emptiness, learning from scripture, the wisdom won't develop. Knowledge of reality does not arise. Therefore, clinging to the incorrect, they do not realize the perfect reality. So the foundation is that need to, so it's the most important to realize that your true nature is in the Buddha nature. Then set irresistible conviction. Then now you learn about emptiness. Then meditate on emptiness. Then there are possibility of first of all understanding it. Secondly, realizing it. The way to realize, because of being form and advantageous, the form of sentient beings are not real. The perfect qualities of the basic elements are pure in their nature because the forms are selfless. Then an obstruction to the developing love and compassion and cause of bodhicitta. The general downback of the not knowing the basic element, verse 166, the obstacle to develop bodhicitta. Those who cling to unreal forms and depreciate true qualities do not attain the love that sees themselves and sentient beings as equal. So if we don't have a basic understanding of interconnectivityness, then there's no basis to generate love, genuine love, even to yourself. So again, the wisdom play a major role even to develop the method. Consequences, upon hearing it in this way, one generates enthusiasm, the same respect for others as for the Buddhas, and the wisdom and exalted wisdom and the great love. How much, so the teaching says, how much you respect Buddha, that much we should respect ordinary people, sentient beings. If we bow to Buddha, we should bow to sentient beings. If we love Buddha, we should love sentient beings. If we respect Buddha, we should respect sentient beings. The teaching says like that. So only prostrate to the Buddha when we see our human being, we try to fight with them, look down on them against the teaching. Now, summary of the benefit of being free from the five faults, 168. Through generating these five qualities of the lack of self-contempt, view of equality, lack of faults, being endowed with the qualities, and the love arising from the equality of oneself and sentient being, one swiftly attained Buddhahood. This corresponding to the first chapter on the Tathagata Essence from the Mahayana Uttaratantra treatise, the lineage of the three jewels. Thank you. Complete. I almost passed the reading test, English reading test. I need to improve many parts then. Yeah, so thank you so much. So we quickly dedicate like this since it's final. Whatever merit we accumulate through this session, whatever merit that accumulated, just like dedicate, just like how Kyabcha Lama Suparabhachi would dedicate. Many of you are very familiar with it. And just like how the dedication done in the Buddhist Acharya at the dedication section. Yeah, but in a simple meaning, whatever merit we accumulate through this Dhamma discourse, whatever merit we accumulate in the past, in the future, all the merit accumulated by past, present, future Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Gurus, and sentient beings, may this collective merit be a complete cause for numberless sentient beings to be free from oceans of samsaric suffering. It is caused as karma and delusion and actualized from temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness or enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be a complete cause, whatever inconvenience that is experiencing in the world, such as war, natural disaster, famine, diseases, even that in individual level, or whatever difficulty is happening, may this merit be a direct antidote to purify them without even taking a moment. Then we'll be in a peaceful place, and all the sentient beings will enjoy peace and happiness, virtue and dharma accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. Anyone who passed away, in particular last 49 days, especially those who pass away in a war zone, in natural disaster, and untimely death, even those who pass away in the natural dying, but dying with so much pain, may they be free from suffering of death, suffering of intermediate state, suffering of rebirth, and actualize high rebirth in Buddha's pure realm, and within that lifetime they actualize enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. Whoever requested prayers from our Guru, whoever requested prayers from our Sangha, whoever requested prayers from our monasteries, whoever requested prayers from me, to whom you and me promise to pray, may all their aspirations and prayers fulfilled by the power of this collective merit. May this collective merit be complete cause. All the beneficial beings who are the source of peace and happiness for all, such as like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, all your spiritual gurus, yourself, your family members, and all the staffs of the Root Institute, all these staffs of the center that you belong to, including Chadong Chendong Center in Tasmania, etc. Be each one of them always enjoy good health, long life, and fulfill all their aspirations accordingly. May this collective merit be complete. Our most precious, fulfill all the wishes of our most precious Guru Kyabcha Lama Suparabhachi, and may we have the merit to actualize, which is unmistaken reincarnation, and may the holy reincarnation have the environment to carry the Kyabcha Rinpoche's legacy and if not more, then and accordingly with how the previous reincarnation have conduct to the service of Dharma and to the service of sentient being accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause in whatever virtuous institutions like monasteries and nunneries and all the Dharma centers, especially Rudi Institute, Chanton Center Center, etc., and all the centers that you belong to, free from inner outer civil obstacles and actualize all the conducive conditions to preserve the Dharma and the virtue and compassion in action and extensive learning and actualizing realization on the stages of path accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. May every one of us never be separated from, perfect, precious Mahayana Guru, like His Holiness Dalai Lama, like Geshe Lama Suvarnas, and all your spiritual gurus accordingly. Then, in short, may we dedicate just like how Geshe Lama Suvarnas make extensive dedication whenever there's meritorious activities happen. We dedicate just like that. Then, just like the Buddhist Samanabhata, Buddhist Cheris, Buddhist Manjushri, how to do they dedicate whenever they accumulate virtues, we too dedicate just like that. Then also seal the merit, the dedicate ourselves and the merit and the purpose we dedicate to be understood as a lack of inherent existence in the nature of interdependentizing. Dagi Jenye Zabe Yawande Dendan Luakuna Kambeta Jabrachizon Losan Traba Tembe Nimbo Rendo Sashi Jo Sashi Beji Joji Mendo Damari Rabbe Jenye de Javan Sanje Shindo Mide Bewa Ye Dugan Namda Shina Shebara Esho Ye Damagurura Menda Gamne Daya Me Chanjo Simjo Rimboche Mage Banam Geju Kawanya Bame One Bodo Pewa Shutoni Dawa Rimboche Mage Banam Geju Kawanya Bame Baya One Bodo Pewa Shutoni Dawa Rimboche Mage Banam Geju Kawanya Bame Baya One Bodo Pewa Sho Kari Rabe Koreshi Nande Penda De Wama De Shuvene Chere Sewa Tenzin Yazu Shabe Sede Bado De Juro Eji Toni Nije Sundo Jove Lan Seje Sejo Kaje De Ribo Chana Pemo Tenzin Yazu Sowa De Zo Chende Sho Kyawa Kudo Yanda Lama Da Chame Chingi Pela Lonje Sada Lamje Yende Rapso Nendo Je Chanje Gomba Yudo Sho Chabe Bawe Chidra Kemba Da Kudo Sambo De Yande Deda Gonje Jezo Dalo Je Kyawa Deda Tamje Rabdo Mo De Zo Shebe Kyawa Tamje De Mo Gala Chudo Mo Ba Da Shen Gebe Sawa De Sambo Sheje Rabdo Mo Ba Ji Chede Kyawa Songa Pewa Da Je Se Ma Sheo Tunje Malu Sanwa Sho Dada Shinji Du Sum Da Dore Sonye La Tene Kyawa Lo Santa Temba Yure Ba Yure. Thank you very much. It's okay. It's okay. So just a short mandala. You can do whole thing together.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and sorry for taking a lot of your time. I have a refuge ceremony with a few friends, so you all can proceed. I will stay back. So you proceed, have a nice toilet break before we go to visit Geshe Rinpoche's shrine. Thank you.
Rinpoche is slightly delayed, so we have plenty of time. So you didn't while you're offering, I just wanted to thank all of you. Thank Keshala from Buddha Institute Bali. Listening to Geshe, not only if I may say so, Geshala's name is the same as Lama Rinpoche, but sometimes listening to Geshe, one of the members, so I would like to thank Rinpoche, Geshe Tenzin Zopa Rinpoche, for saying the lineage and handing it down.
Oh, yo.
This is really fun. And thanks to Venerable Lizzie, Annie, and all the other people involved in your pilgrimage. And we look forward to meeting you over tea and then meeting some of the directors of the other centers. So thank you all very much, and please come to the Institute again and again.
So these all the offerings on behalf of everybody, we donate to Root Institute. Okay, so rejoice for the offerings offered to Root Institute.
I just wanted to say a quick word. Of course, initially to thank Geshe from the bottom of our heart for the precious 3 days teaching, but equally precious, we really wish to acknowledge and thank the kind Root Institute for hosting us all. Without you, we could not be like this, so thank you so much.
Okay. You can slowly proceed. Yeah, and the two brothers can come up. Thank you.
Yes, the group is still going to see him with his room on.
Yes, after Geshe has finished, he's got some things to do here with a couple of people.
I know, but what he said after then it's going to get very late. So can some of you come now and then, because anyway, all of you can go inside.
But no, we know, but Geshe wanted us to wait till he finished the refuge ceremony and then he will come, all go up together and then just go in small groups into the room. And then we're staying for tea. Yeah. So he'd like to take everybody up after he's finished this.
But refuge ceremony is going to be short because
Yes, it is. He did say very short. Yeah.
Will you? You see the running